Okay, so now I was going to try to explain the agate hypothesis and the geode hypothesis, and this little beast right here is going to be the one that's going to help me show it to you guys. This is a seam agate, and the way you can tell is this flat surface here is obviously where the agate was growing, and you can see these kind of irregular, interesting faces. Now, in the other gentleman's theory about this area, he wants to say that this stuff came from gypsum, and it very well could have been. This could be a replacement of gypsum. If you guys have seen the selenite that we pull from that area, you would understand this surface, and it very much looks the same, and it very well could be the same. The one thing that we want to focus on in this little chat right now is this hole right by my thumb. Now, let me go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to give you guys some light. Woo! That's bright. Okay, so we got the light in there. Now, as you can see, there's this little hole here, and it doesn't look like much. As a matter of fact, it looks like kind of a crack in the rock. But one thing that you want to really pay attention to is that this went all the way through at one time, and it has healed up with silicates, probably when it filled. But notice how the hole is also cylindrical. It's very cylindrical all the way through, and that is a very good sign of pressurized fluids going through a crack, because normally a crack would be quite irregular, but if it's cylindrical, it's generally from fluids. Now, if we look at it from the opposite side, which is nice, here's where it's coming through, right down in there. You can see it's coming through. Now, what's interesting about this, being that it's right there, it's that in that crack right here, and it's no wonder that it cracked, because this was a weak spot. But now look at this. This I find to be interesting, and I'm sorry that I'm moving the camera around a lot. If you notice in this area here, I'm going to try to get it, the fluid came through here, but look how it almost looks like it's a water slide going through here. How the stuff was ejected into this area. And you could see it almost follow this entire area. If I turn it a little bit, and maybe put it down in my lap here, we can really see it. Okay, now look as it's coming through. Look how it almost looks like it came out of that hole and was just, water was just being forced into this area right through here. Right? So what it looks like to me is that this thing, that agates were almost ejection molded. It was water that was seeping from that hole and being pushed into here, and it slowly precipitated all of these really fine microcrystalline formations in here, which form the agate. And I really wanted to share this with you because it was really interesting to find this, and so that you could actually see what it looks like, how an agate or a geode of such, and probably this is probably the exact same way that thunder eggs are formed in a lot of cases, and I think that there's other formations too, but this one really set it off. You have and you can almost see the striations almost look like they're all radiating that direction. The water was literally pushing that way through the seam. But this is a beautiful little agate. It's got some reds and some whites. We've got some organic cherts in here, which the area that this is from, where the selenite is precipitated, is also an old forest. Much of which was replaced so long ago that the silicates are actually eroded away, and only a little bit of calcite is left. So this is just a really cool place, and I just wanted to share that one bit of information for you guys so you could look at this agate and see how you go from having this flat edge to a very concaved surface on the inside. You can actually feel the texture. It is not smooth quartz at all. It feels like it has been forming and is not fully formed yet. So I think this might be a piece of the puzzle that we need to solve this geological mystery, because this has been a hypothesis for some time, and a lot of scientists have been working on trying to figure out how agates and geodes form, and this is one of them. It's injection molding. The water literally gets pushed in there in those silicates, and the acids get formed inside of a pocket almost. So this is kind of interesting. All right, thanks guys.